Hi YouTube, my name is Bon Kim and this is my very first show. I'm pretty much inspired by these people on this list. I watch them pretty much every day when they have something out, and it's much preferable than watching someone making $7 million a year telling me what's going on in the world. I want to get straight to the point because I want to talk about this whole Muslim ban. It's not a Muslim ban, and I'm going to explain that to you in a few seconds. But first, shout out to Tim Black. He's great. Watch his show. 100% real. You know, no sellouts. That's his thing, right? Let nobody take your cornbread. And, that's how I kind of really want to do the things that he's doing, but, in a different, more explanatory way. Because I don't have his charisma. And H.A. Goodman, he's got a lot of journalistic background. He's on, various TV shows. He's always reading, seeing what's going on. So you get a lot of insight that what he's researching. Jimmy Dore show, he tells it like it is too. He gives no shits. He's really funny, and I'm. Everyone tells me I'm not funny, so hopefully I'm, I can prove people wrong and maybe tell a bad joke here and there. But that's Jimmy Dore, bar none. A great guy, and someone I respect too. So I respect all these guys. Then there's Humanist Report, Secular Talk, TYT Politics. I talk more about them, but check out their shows if you've never heard about them. They're definitely worth watching. Okay, so let's talk about this whole Muslim ban thing. Now you're gonna see a lot of. Hold on, sorry, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. And coffee at 1:30 in the morning works. All right. So Donald Trump issued an executive order, banning travel, banning immigrants from traveling to the States from certain countries. Now, what I want to do is kind of show you what's exactly in the executive order. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't mean to show you that yet. Well, I guess so. All right, so you're going to see a lot of articles on, is it a Muslim ban? And you get a lot of protesters out there saying end Muslim ban. You've got different viewpoints. This is Atlantic saying, yes, it is a Muslim ban. I disagree. It's really, and who do you want you telling their version of the news? You really need to go and research it yourself, and this is what I'm trying to do. I'm going to provide all links below on my YouTube channel for this episode, whatever it is, so you can actually see all the websites yourself. And so this is Donald Trump's executive order, protecting the nation from foreign terrorists entering into the United States. Now, if you look at the news sources of mainstream media, you're going to see lists of countries, even memes, saying it's Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, Libya, Syria, and a couple others. And everyone's saying, yeah, they're Muslim countries, so he's banning Muslims from entering. And now, I'll get to that in a minute, but alright, look right here. When you're at this page, type in Iraq, nothing there. Type in Iran, nothing there. The only country you'll see mentioned is Syria, right? Two mentions of Syria. So you really need to read through the whole thing and get a sense of what exactly is in this executive order. And another thing, you don't hear mention of, say, what was I trying to, I was typing it in before. Muslims, right? Type in Muslim. There's no mention of Muslims at all, right? Maybe Islam. No mention of Islam, right? This goes throughout the whole executive order. and I'm just doing a browser search. You can do the same thing. Okay. So this is where it kind of starts. Not really, but as far as documentation goes, this is where you can kind of get to it. So there's this House Resolution 158, Visa Waiver Program Improvement in Terrorist Travel Prevention Act of 2015. So and you'll see kind of a summary of it, text of the entire act, and the resolution. I'm sorry. And you'll see who voted on it, and that's another thing that I kind of want to get into later in one of my other episodes. But right now, let's kind of focus on it's not a Muslim ban. So 407 of the representatives voted yay, and 19 voted nay. So browse through this because what happens is this gets issued into a Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2016. Now you can see that there's 81 total bills included in this appropriations bill. And included into it is HR 158, which I just mentioned. What HR 158 does is basically give Homeland Security, the powers. Actually, let's actually look at the part that's kind of gives the Department of Homeland Security the rights to determine who shouldn't enter the country, or not have their visas waived or whatnot. So when you look through, you'll see, I think, a lot of things, but you really won't see any mention of a lot of countries listed, right, that people are talking about. Is there Iraq? Yes. Is there Iran? No. Is there Syria? Yes. Is there Libya? No. So, you could find out, well, where are the rest of the countries that are Muslim banning? Let's see. Is there Muslim here? No. Is there Islam? No. Okay, let's go back to the Consolidated Appropriations Act. And now, 81 bills. You don't want to go through 81 bills, but if you want to, you can. You can see who voted for it, who didn't. Signed by President Obama, right? Not President Trump, President Obama. And if you kind of dig through, you'll be able to see who voted on it. And I'll go through this again in another video. So now, what really kind of happens is the Department of Homeland Security kind of creates a list, working with Secretary of State and Director of National Intelligence, right? They kind of get to do what they want to do because of that bill. So you can see that the date is February 18th. It's an archive. I'm actually at the dhs.gov. And it talks about how, last month they began implementing changes under that act. Now, what they had originally was Libya, Somalia, and Yemen are to be included as countries of concern. And if you look around, they add in Iraq. Let's see. Can't see it. All right. They add in Iran, Iraq, Sudan, and Syria as countries subject to the restrictions. Okay. And then they had Libya, Somalia, and Yemen before. Now, this is important because when you actually watch and read the mainstream media, they're going to mention these 7 countries as being banned because Donald Trump's executive order is referring to the Homeland Security list. So his executive order was to have the Department of Homeland Security provide him with a list of travel bans within 30 days of the order. So now let's get to the meat of this all. Whatever. I don't know why I said meat of the soul, but okay. Um, is it a Muslim ban? Let's see. All right. This is just your Wikipedia, and this is countries by a study by the Pew Research Center in 2011. And you can see that this is the Muslim percentage of total population, right? So almost everyone in Maldives is Muslim. Mauritania, Muslim. Afghanistan, 99.8. Tunisia, 99.8%. All right, you get the picture. But right, Tunisia isn't on this list, right? No, it's not. Mauritania, no. Afghanistan, no. I think it should, but they didn't list it, right? Iran, yes. Tunisia, no. Western Sahara, no. Morocco, no. So it's not based on Muslim percentage of a country, because all those are left out. Now, if you go here, you can see percentage of world Muslim populations. Now, if you are kind of nerdy like me, you'll do something like this. Oh, not that, sorry. All right, you're going to do something like this, where you're going to see, calculate everything. So I had kind of tallied it all up. So you've got all the populations of Muslims in these countries that are listed by the Department of Homeland Security. 205 million about. That's 12% of the world's Muslim population. Right. Indonesia itself has more Muslims in their country than all those 7 countries combined. So when you're looking through this, right, you'll see Indonesia, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Egypt, Nigeria, all those countries not banned. Turkey, not banned. We're not banning anyone from Turkey, right? So when it's a Muslim ban, are we banning Muslims? No, because people from Turkey are coming over, people from Indonesia, anyone, any Muslim, it doesn't matter if they're crazy extremists, I guess, in Muslim that aren't, I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean. They're not going to be banned from entering this country. They're Muslims. It's not a Muslim ban. And how would you know someone's a Muslim by looking at them? Maybe a name will give it away, possibly. But sometimes they might have a Muslim sounding name, but not be Muslim. So it's really difficult to kind of regulate that. So when you're talking to people who call this a Muslim ban, you need to kind of tell them to do the research, because it matters. The reason why it matters is because you don't want people saying, what, you're for the Muslim ban? It's like, no, I'm not for a Muslim ban, but Donald Trump didn't issue a Muslim ban. His executive order had travel bans from certain countries, and these certain countries were provided by the Department of Homeland Security, and that power was given to them during President Obama's term. So that explains the whole it's not a Muslim ban. And, this can be a great debate to have, but, why aren't other countries that have huge Muslim populations not banned from coming into the United States? They're not. So you have to really kind of think around what's the real issue. And probably what the mainstream media doesn't want you to focus on is what we've been doing to those countries that the Department of Homeland Security issued as travel warnings, travel bans for. And the thing is, they're supposed to issue Donald Trump a list within 30 days. So the current list was back in February 18th, 2016, as you can see here. And the list before that was a month before, January 21, 2016. So the new list would have been probably updated sometime in February of 2017, and that could include either all countries that have Muslims in it, but it probably wouldn't. It's going to be focused on the Middle Eastern countries that we've bombed, and it's not all Middle Eastern countries that have Muslims, right? It doesn't. We're not travel banning people from Turkey. We're not travel banning people from Saudi Arabia, right? So why aren't we? It's not a Muslim ban. That's the thing. All right. So I'm kind of beating. I don't know what that term is. Beating the dog dead. That's probably wrong. That sucks. It's hard being in front of a camera and talking to no one but talking to everyone who's watching. Plus, my wife and kid are sleeping and it's 2 in the morning, so I don't want to be too loud. And I should probably be sleeping. So, okay, that's that. Shout out to these guys. Watch their shows and come back next time. Hopefully, I do a better show on my second take and I actually have better production values and have everything set up the way I want to do. And I'll discuss a lot of different things. And I hope you come back and subscribe. All right. Thanks a lot and have a good night.